And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today I have an awesome message for you guys. I'm going to share with you guys what is the Men of High Value movement. And I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible. And let's see where we go from there. Let's see. For now, understand what this world is for. What was it created for? It was for us to learn and to grow on our journey to become who we are meant to become. Okay? We are here on a journey to fulfill our highest potential. And everyone starts out like this. We start out with ignorance, okay? We're complete blank slates. Nothing there, okay? The whole mankind started out like that as well. Everyone was ignorant. They had no idea. The only thing that they knew was their immediate needs and gratifications and immediate desires for food and sex and sleep and all those things that were natural to them. Over time, they began to grow and become and improve because of hypergamy. Now let's explain what this is all about. We understand that at the end of it all, the end picture, we have truth, okay? So you see, ignorance is on one side. This is where we all start out. Eventually, we'll all come to the knowledge of that which works, okay? Truth. That's the definition. That which works in the long run and in the big scheme of things. Eventually, your knowledge of that which works is going to exponentially increase. Because once you understand the foundational pieces for how this world works, how the universe works, how the laws and principles are so beautifully set up, man, life becomes amazing. Okay? Not only this life, but the next one as well. Okay? Because this is just the very beginning. And if we understand this, that all of us will come to a knowledge of the truth, because there's not many different truths. Truth is not relative to what you believe or want to believe or whatever it is. Truth is that which works. So obviously, we'll find better and better and better and better and better and better ways to do things until we find the principles that are eternal. That simply, it just works eternally no matter what. In order for what? What's the end goal? What is it that we want to have work in our lives and in the universe in general? If we think about ourselves, and we're selfish creatures, which is a great thing, by the way, because if we weren't selfish, then none of this would work, okay? The fact that you want good stuff to happen to you is an amazing thing, as long as you understand that the best way to have good things happen to you is to do good things to others. Because that is a principle. You do good to others, then they will do good to you. You do good to a lot of people will do good to you. Okay, so if we understand this, that is truth. It works. And when people do good things to you, that means that you have value in their eyes. Which means that that is going to grow your confidence, grow your desire, grow your motivation, and grow the ultimate goal, which is happiness. Joy, bliss, and happiness, guys. If we understand that this life was designed for us, every single individual, to become happy. And if we simply understand the truth of what creates happiness, but not only creates it, but sustains happiness in the long run, you figured out the code for life. You've cracked the code if you understand it. And that's what you get on this channel. And this movement is not just this channel. This is just the beginning. I'm simply teaching you guys the foundation for a happy and successful life so that you can enjoy every single second of it and then improve that enjoyment exponentially over time, okay? So you understand how all of this works. We go from ignorance, And then over time, as we learn, grow, develop, and figure out that which works and that, okay, that did not work, but this works, interesting, I'm gonna do this more. And then, oh, nope, this didn't work at all, I'm scrapping that, I'm gonna try this, let's try this, hey, it worked. And then you begin to just apply the things that work, and suddenly everything around you, in your entire environment, you will have the Midas touch, okay? Because you work, everything else around you works as well. And when everything around you, it just works, life just works and is amazing, then you can have exponential joy and happiness forevermore. Do you understand how this works? Okay, so if we know this, what is the progression of things? How do we go from ignorance to truth? To that which works? Okay, I've stated this before. The way to get there, okay, the way to success, how you have success is from good judgment, right? Good judgment, basically making good decisions. If you make good decisions and you keep making good decisions, then everything's gonna work out eventually, right? Continuously improving and making things better and better and better. Well, guess what? Good judgment comes from experience, okay? This is Anthony Robbins talking here, right? Experience, okay, is basically what none of us wants to go through, but we all need to develop it if we in the future desire good judgment, okay? Experience comes from bad judgment, all right? So if we understand this, like basically, when you're ignorant, you're completely ignorant, guess what? Your life will be filled with bad judgment, with bad decisions. You're gonna make wrong decisions all the time because you don't know that which works. You simply are trying things out and is this working? Is this working? Oh, it's not working. Nothing's working. And then you become depressed and you become, feel like you're an ultimate failure. You're only a failure if you give up trying to figure out how things work, right? But as long as you keep getting back up every single time, and you get up faster and faster every single time, maybe sometime you get depressed for 2 months, and then you're improving over time, so suddenly you only get depressed for 1 month. Awesome! And then now suddenly you're improving, so now you're only depressed for 2 weeks. You get yourself back up, and now eventually, over time, you'll get to the point where it only takes you a day, it only takes you an hour, it only takes you 10 minutes to get over the depressing thing that just happened. If you improve that aspect of things, and you continuously move towards that which works, you figured it out, right? So how can we improve this process? Because there's a competition going on. Yes, you're competing with yourself to improve yourself continuously every single day, but you're also improving against everyone else around you. Happiness is a competition. Who can be most happy? And I'm talking about like truly happy. I'm not talking about putting on a face, putting on a facade, borrowing a bunch of money in order to like drive a fancy car or live in a nice house, blah, 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 but it's not yours. I'm talking about the competition of I'm happy. I'm actually blissfully happy, and I'm freaking fired up that I'm happy because most people aren't happy. Okay, now that's my problem that they're not happy because I can help them to become happy. The more I help others to become happy, guess what? The more happy I become. So it's a competition, but it's kind of like you have these many groups of like people. It's not like you're competing with them, so you're putting them down in order for you to be the happiest guy. No, in order for you to become truly happy, you got to bring everyone up with you. You're still competing with them, okay? But it's a friendly battle. It's like this guy who commented on one of my videos said one time about boxing, right? You're boxing each other, it's a competition, but then you help each other up and you're best bros afterwards, right? So it's kind of like that I'm talking about, that we're helping each other to all of us get to an increased amount of happiness. And if you do that for your friends, they're gonna love you forever, right? If you actually seek out to truly bless their lives and make them happy, they're gonna do that. But, you can't do that for everyone because you gotta be wise with your time, right? So I'm just saying, what's the fastest way to get the truth? You have to fail faster. fail forward faster. It's the 3 F's, okay? I think I came up with that. I think it's original, okay? With the 3 F's. Fail forward faster. Because on this channel in the Men of High Value movement, we take everything to the extreme and see if it works. Because that's how we figure out that which works. We got to take it to the nth degree, take it to the extreme, because that's the fastest way to figure out if it works. If you just dip your toe in the water with every single thing that you do in your life, how are you going to learn fast? It's gonna go so quickly. You like diversifying, blah, 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 trying to make things work in your life. No, go to the nth degree and see if it works. And one thing that works is failing forward fast. What do I mean by that? I've spoken on this channel a lot lately about 10,000 hours. This channel is about foundational success. You want to build yourself up so you have abundance forevermore, which means let's seek out the money first, okay? Let's figure out our financial foundation from the beginning, because it doesn't take a very long time to build a financial foundation that's gonna be with you for life if you're doing it right from the beginning. Okay, don't build a bunch of wealth and then lose it all, and then build a bunch of wealth and then lose it all. You want to get rich for sure and then keep that wealth. You don't want to just get rich quick and then lose it all through a divorce or through this or through that or through gambling or through whatever, right? You want to make sure that you get rich for sure over time. So that's a principle that you take to the nth degree. So what was I saying? Basically, yes, the 10,000 hours, that's the fastest way. If you, instead of taking 5 years, 40 hours a week, right? That's what I'm telling on this channel. 5 years to get to 10,000 hours to become an expert in your field in terms of entrepreneurship and business and being a capitalist. You do 80 hours a week of working and building up your financial foundation, forgetting and neglecting and deprioritizing everything else. Okay? Everything that is important to you, you'll find some time for every single week. But anything that is not important to you, long-term or short-term, becomes completely irrelevant. It's all about getting to those 10,000 hours in experience in business and in life. And if you put those 80 hours a week, every single week, guess what you're doing? You're failing forward faster than 99% of the population. That's what this channel is for, taking you to the nth degree to get you to the place that you want to be as fast as humanly possible. You don't have to take 10 years to get to $100,000 in net worth. You don't. It can happen in 2.5 years if you put in the work and the effort. Does that make sense? But why are we doing all of this? The equivalent of happiness, okay? Happiness equals motivation / desire. Okay, motivation and desire is the exact same thing. You want to be happy for life? You've got to have desire, okay? Because once you have desire, you've got motivation. Now you can actually go and do the thing that you want to have done because you're fired up outside your brain. If you're fired up outside your brain, guess what? Are you happy or sad if you're fired up outside your brain? Exactly, right? So it's all about figuring out what motivates you, what fires you up, what creates desire abundantly in you, because if you have that spirit, that attitude in you continuously, guess what? You're happy all of the time. And like I say, happiness is a precursor to success. So if you want abundant bliss, joy, and happiness, exponential growth in that, we need to figure out how we can be happy now. And the way to be happy now is to figure out that which motivates you and drives you on a daily basis. You got to have a goal. Again, that's what this channel is for. I'm going through a lot now, but man, if you get through this video, watch it again and again and again, because if you've got these principles, it sets you up for life. Okay, what motivates men? What motivates us? Think about it, okay? Yes, truth motivates me, but it's not like truth really gives me that thing that drives me towards truth. I'm fired up about truth. That's not how it works. What are we truly fired up as men? Okay? One thing I'll tell you is power. We as men desire power, okay? One of the things that we desire most. And a lot of religious circles say that that's a bad thing. Okay? Realize that power is fantastic. It is a tool for you to get whatever it is that you desire. And if you understand the universal principles of what happens when you as a man of power actually use that power for good, okay, that is going to create more good in this world, which gives you more power, which you as a man of integrity and as a man of truth give that back so that they can give you more power, and then you have more power, now you can build more, right? It's the profit incentive. If you build businesses with the profit motive, but keeping the people in mind. Obviously, we're doing this for people. If you're not doing it for people, you're only doing it for the profit incentive, and I don't care about these people, you're going to eventually lose the profits, right? You're going to be screwed over. But if you are a capitalist, a real, true capitalist who serves people and who only does it for the people, then guess what? People are going to shower you with value for the rest of eternities. And not only are you going to be an example for all those people that you're serving, you're also an example for your kids, right? Man, amazing how this works. And that's basically, that's how it works. Okay, it's power. This motivates men. It motivates us a lot. Once we know that this good thing, it's not a bad thing. It really isn't. Why do we want power so much? Okay, power is basically confidence, right? If you feel confident, man, nothing can break you down, right? If you're confident, all right, and you're truly happy, you can be confident but not happy, but then it's just arrogance, and you're basically, I'm better than all of you guys. No, it's not like that. It's power. Wow, man, I feel powerful, man. I'm excited, all right? I'm gonna go out there and do something, right? That kind of power, because you know, the definition of power is the ability to do. That's the definition of power. And if you put that together with a team, it's not just you moving towards your dreams and goals, it's you fulfilling the team's dreams and goals. That creates unlimited power. It's not just you on this journey. So one of the most crucial things that you can do in this life as part of the Men of High Value movement is to develop your leadership skills. Right? Because the more you become a leader, the more you can help others to develop the same type of mentality, because you're educating them on that which works, right? If you're going to move towards the truth, you have to bring people with you. Because the more you bring people with you in terms of them applying the truth, now suddenly things are beginning to work in their lives so that everything can work around you as well, right? You can't be truly happy and successful if everyone around you doesn't have cash, doesn't have success, doesn't have happiness, and they always have problems upon problems, stuff that you in your mind is like, man, he still has those problems? Like, bro, he didn't learn from his mistakes back then. I mean, he should have, like you're kind of past that. You want to tackle the big problems, the problems of the world, the problems of the people. Because if you have your life in order, then you're going to begin to attract people into your life who have their lives in order. And when you begin the journey towards blessing and helping the masses to solve their problems, because you are part of a team who don't have much problems because they have order in their life, suddenly everyone is moving towards in the right direction. Be an example for everyone who's ignorant and helping them move towards exponential growth until we come to a unity of the faith, a unity of the truth of that which works, if that makes sense. One more. That was power. Okay. Why do we want power? Well, guess what? We're men. We want women, don't we? We want women a lot. If you're masculine, you want some feminine, sweet ladies, not only for the shallow aspects of sexual relationships, okay, that's great, that's wonderful, and yes, that's what you're driven towards, okay, especially if you're practicing semen retention and all that stuff, but you also want the depth of relationship with women of your choice and keep them for life. If you understand how love works, and you understand how women work, and you understand how you yourself work, you won't desire only shallow, quick, meaningless relationships with thousands of women. The more feminine you are, the more you'll believe that that's what you want. But the more masculine you become, the more you simply just want consistency. You just want consistency because you can never develop consistency and exponential growth without having just something that's there with you, for life, right? If it's on and off relationships with different women over there, and it's like, you don't really want that at your core. If you could choose, and even if players could choose, if they could figure out how women actually function, so that they could solve that problem once and for all. How do I attract beautiful women and then keep them, and not only keep them, but actually have them live in harmony with me and be happy with me together with their two other best friends forever, so that I can have the opportunity to go out and fulfill my purpose as a man of high value, as a man of truth out there. Not just being in the home and being an equal partner with my wife. I'd rather be out there building massive conglomerates and then coming home in the evening and being massively rewarded by my 3 girls in love and then being there with my kids. Do you understand what I mean? This is how masculinity is. The Men of High Value movement we're politically incorrect, okay? And there's a lot of stuff that we need to fix in order for us to bring back motivation for men. Because right now, what is it that motivates men these days? Oh, monogamy? Really? Have you checked out some videos about what people say about marriage these days? It's not really a good idea. Even I made a video on it called 100 Reasons Why You Should Not Get Married. Okay, and then I said, fine, 23 because it's, short on time. But literally, there are probably 100 reasons why you should not get married. But is that because family doesn't work? No, it's because the system that is built up right now with monogamy, that doesn't work. And the fact that the government intervenes in every single thing and the no-fault divorce aspect that's going on these days also doesn't work, right? We should let nature fulfill its course, and when we do that, we begin to realize, oh my gosh, we men were actually designed for polygamy. No wonder I've been looking around at girls so much, right? Exactly. While women were designed for monogamy and towards the opposite gender. Okay, so if we know this, foundational piece for society to work, for everything to work, for us to create heaven on earth, families are crucial. So the Men of High Value system, or the Men of High Value community, is all about creating families that work in the long run. We figured out over time that monogamy doesn't work very well. And I'll briefly just explain why right now. The reason why monogamy does not work is because in every single male-female relationship, the woman will always have the power. Why does she have the power? Because we've been created in a way so that we have a bigger sex drive than women do. Women need it more than we do, okay? You don't know this, but it's true. But you desire it more than they do. And so what happens is that they have the power, okay? They'll say that they don't need it. Very often they'll have this latent sexuality. They're way more sexual creatures than we are, but it doesn't come to the surface. And the reason why is because we are, in their eyes, low value when we're married to them. Why? Because we don't create what we were designed to create. We're burdening them with kids. We're burdening them with not being rich. We're burdening them with a lot of crap. We're burdening them with being at home all the time. Okay, that's a burden too. And we're burdening them with loneliness because women always need other women to be with them at all times in all places. So if we know that, then by default, women will always have the power in the relationship. And if she has the power in the relationship, she'll always look down on you as the man. And that creates demotivation and the lack of desire for success. Because no matter how successful you become, in monogamy, she's always going to look at you as a low-value guy. Sometimes if you're on stage and doing this and creating these results and all that stuff, then she'll get a small epiphany of, oh, he actually is a man of high value. But most of the time, you'll be a loser. You'll be a low-value squat, nothing in monogamy. And what we're bringing back now is 3 girls in love. 1 man, 3 women. And it's a massive, huge aspect to the men of high value movement. The second aspect, I'm going through now the 3 pillars of the men of high value movement. Number 1 is truth. We've spoken a lot about truth today. Number 2, well, it's actually number 3 is family. And number 2 is freedom. Okay? If you look at it this way, the men of high value system is designed to take government out of the equation. Non-violently, I will add. But the government is screwing everyone over because it ruins the desire and motivation of men to fulfill their potential. Number 1, they have now made it so that it's illegal to practice polygamy. Can you believe it? Okay? Now, polygamy done right is bad. Polygamy done wrong is bad. Polygamy done right in 3 Girls in Love, because of the systems that we teach on that channel. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to 3 Girls in Love, go over and subscribe right now. Pause the video, check out 3 Girls in Love, subscribe, okay? Because this is ridiculous. If you haven't checked it out, you have to. Once you understand that aspect, the government basically has made it illegal for you to practice 3 Girls in Love, but they can't stop you because of what has happened over time is that now you can actually have cohabiting and sexual relations outside of marriage. Now, is that a bad thing that men and women can have sex with each other without commitment? No, in many ways, it's absolutely horrible. Who loses out? It's the kids. However, if you understand the principles of female nature as taught on these channels that I've got, no woman will ever leave you, and she'll never cheat on you either, because you understand female nature as it's taught on these channels. It's impossible for her to leave you behind if you actually apply the principles that are being taught. Okay? Remember, this channel is all about truth, that which works. If it doesn't work, scrap it. If it works, hey, that's awesome. And that's what we've got on this channel. Okay, so we have that opportunity to actually make cohabiting not such a bad thing. Because if we know as men how to retain women voluntarily, they can leave if they want to, but you simply know the how-tos and the information, the truth necessary in order for them to stay and enjoy their life, they're never gonna go anywhere. Because they want to stay, and because they love you, and because they love their kids, etc. Suddenly cohabiting is not that big a deal, is it? Oh, I need this paper because God told me that I needed this paper from the government. Really? Seriously, when did he ever say that you need to have a certificate from the government that you are married? He never did that, okay? He just wants you to be committed. He doesn't want women to have any more sexual partners than 1. But it's not women's fault because they're not the initiators of it. It's men who always initiate sexual relationships. So it's men's fault always that women are not virgin when they get married. Okay, so it's our problem. So we need to be the ones who stop having sexual casual relationships with women until they have found their man of high value that they commit to for life. But it's truly just about the commitment of the man. Because the women cannot choose what they feel about love at any given time. The man can create those in-love emotions in a woman by default if he knows how to create those emotions in his woman. But if he doesn't know how to do it, she will fall out of love and she probably will cheat or leave him. If that makes sense. So this movement, again, this channel is to help you to understand All of the things that are necessary for you to succeed, but also the foundational piece of having women never, ever, ever leave you. So that they can stay with you forever, so that you don't lose your money, right? Okay, because that's one of the biggest reasons why guys build up massive amounts of wealth, and then it's all disappears because the women ran away with it. Through divorce settlements, or through stealing it from their bank accounts, or through ruining or putting their house on fire. I don't know. There's some crazy shit going on there, right? But it doesn't have to be that way if you understand female nature. And that's part of this movement massively on a grand scale, because that's my expertise. Okay? What else did I write down here? Let's see. Okay, ignorance. So basically, if you choose to stay where you are and you basically don't improve on this journey called life, and you never learn anything, you'll be an ultimate failure, which will basically be ignorance, loneliness, which is basically being low value, bondage because you have no freedom, powerlessness, and fear. So this is truly about creating a system that allows you to create the foundation necessary for you to succeed in every single area of life. So what do I recommend? Let's say a 12-year-old. I don't care if you're 40 years old, okay? Treat yourself as a 12-year-old, because now I'm gonna talk to 12-year-olds out there. You've persuaded your parents that school is a frickin' waste of time, okay? We're trying to get the government out of our bedrooms and out of our boardrooms. And when I say out of our boardrooms, I'm talking about from a financial standpoint. Okay, you don't want the government to have any control over your money or over what you do with your family, right? As long as you treat your family nicely, you treat them honorably, all that stuff, why should the government have anything to say about your family? It's wrong. It's intervening with something that has nothing to do with them. Okay, so we're doing that. That's part of the movement, building towards that over time, which is it might take 100 years. Who cares? It might take 200 years or 500 years, but eventually we'll all come to a knowledge of that which works. Okay, we're back to the 12-year-old. What does he need to do? Well, why on earth would he want to be in the custody of the government for another freaking 6 years? Or if he goes to college, and that's public as well, he's still in the government's possession. No, get out of there. Quit school. But you got to do it wisely. And if you haven't checked out my quit school video, then go and check out my quit school video, where I explain to you how to persuade your parents to complete school, but not on campus. Why? Why do I say that? Because it is a flippin' waste of time. Between the age of 12 to 18 years old, by the time you graduate, if you had not been in school, you could have completed 10,000 hours. What's so special about 10,000 hours? Well, guess what? This is how you become elite at anything. So if you actually started working not to earn as a 12-year-old, but to learn. There's a big difference. Robert Kiyosaki talks about this all the time, that you should be working to learn. Who cares about the earning? Because if you're working to learn, to make mistakes, to fail, and to be mentored, then over time, your wealth is going to exponentially increase. It's all about your mentality. Who cares about how much you make per hour? Okay? Because eventually you'll have time and money freedom, because you don't care about the salary right now. You care about what goes in here. So if you as a 12-year-old, you work to learn, not to earn. Let's say you get mentored. You work for free for a millionaire. Within those 6 years, I can promise you that you will be a millionaire yourself. If you are mentored by a millionaire at the age of 12, and you quit school, but you do maybe 1 or 2 hours every single day of studying whatever it is that your 12-year-old friends or whatever are learning at school, so that you can graduate from high school, right? So your parents are not freaking out. But if you do that, if you learn from a mentor from the age of 12 until 18, and you actually put in 80 hours a week, you'll be a millionaire yourself by the age of 18. Now, how important is it for you to go to college if you're a millionaire by the age of 18? We take every principle to the extreme on this channel because it works. Okay? The 80-hour weeks work. What if you don't have a millionaire? You don't know who you can work for free for, right? Get as much knowledge as possible. Just figure it out. 80-hour work weeks. The most important thing you can do, though, first step, is to quit school. I mean, you could start let's say, oh, I'm too scared to talk to my parents about, doing homeschooling. Okay, then do the 40 hours at school. Absolute freaking waste of time, but fine. Let's say for in the beginning, while you build a business on the side, then do the other 40 hours that you have there and build up a business. Build yourself up, right? Because over 1 year, 2 years, maybe it takes you 3 or 4 years, you're 16 years old, you've wasted a lot of time being at school, but at least now you've created an income and you probably make more than your parents combined, right? Because they're thinking like employees. We on this channel teach you how to become entrepreneurs, how to think for yourself, how to become like a business owner, and understand that you don't want to be an employee for the rest of your life. Okay, let's take that to the nth degree. At 16 years old, you're making more than both your parents combined, and now you can tell them, please, can I quit school? Like, come on, like I've shown you I make more money than you guys. I'll do homeschooling. I promise I'll graduate from high school, even though that's horrible and ridiculous and a waste of time, but I'll do it for you guys, right? Anyway, this is what I would tell a 12-year-old to do. Work to learn instead of earning immediately. Build a business. You'll have a strong financial foundation at 18 years old. Guess what? Once you have 100K, it's probably going to be different numbers in 6 years' time if you're 12 years old today. Once you're 18 and you have a massively strong financial foundation and you've learned about female nature on this channel, on the 3 Girls in Love channel, or maybe even hired me as a mentor or one of my coaches that I give you, you can start 3 Girls in Love family at that time. No kids for several years. It's just you, your 3 honeys, and you're traveling around the world and you are building your business, okay? And you've learned how to attract them, you learn how to keep them, and you've learned how to keep them happy at all times and in all places. And if you do that, you are setting your life up for absolute bliss, joy, and happiness forever. Because you know that which works. You know the truth, both in abundance and in family, in freedom, in everything in life. And it's simply setting up the foundation once from the beginning. If you do that, everything changes. You have a completely different lifestyle than anyone else that you even know of. No one is practicing this. Even the wealthiest guys, Grant Cardone, 1 wife. Patrick Bet-David, right? He says marriage is the most complex thing I've ever done in my life. It's been harder than all my businesses combined. You know why? Because he doesn't have the information that we have on this channel. That's why. Okay? And he's trying to make monogamy work when by default it doesn't work. Anyway, so what is this channel for? Simply put, is to bring men out of slavery. Out of slavery from women, number 1, and out of slavery from the government. We want out. It's time to take a stance to become part of the Men of High Value movement seriously this time. Don't skip a video. Watch all of them. Be glued to the screen when you're watching 3 Girls in Love, because all of the principles that I teach have minutely been tested from a principle standpoint, okay, and will help you in every single facet of your life, okay? People always say, well, you don't have 3 women yet, Joseph. How do we know that it's gonna work in the future? It is the exact same way as a rocket ship that we send up into space. We might have never done it before. We haven't gone to the moon. We haven't gone to Mars, whatever, but we know the math. We can rely on principles. We can rely on the universal laws that are put in place that teach us about female nature, that teaches us about our nature as men, and that helps us to understand the entire system. Once it works, and you'll see that for yourself. But until then, forget about the women and just figure your financial foundation out. That's the most crucial aspect to figure out. Anyway, thank you so much for being on this channel. The texts, let's see, the live chat. Facts, we're not genetically predisposed to have 1 woman. Absolutely. What's your opinion on smoking weed? Completely against it. Bros, All stimulants, gone. All of them, okay? Every single stimulant there is. Everything, okay? Except for food. Obviously, you need food to live. But other than that, like, you want to be able, as a masculine man, I have one client who keeps telling me that, oh, CBD, man, CBD is pretty cool, man. You get a little bit of smoking, but CBD makes me masculine. And I'm like, bro, it's not making you masculine. It's fake masculinity. And why? Now, he feels masculine, okay? I'm not going to take that away from him. But it's temporary. And he needs, guess what? The CBD, or whatever it is that he's using, in order for him to feel masculine. Okay, you want to come to the point where you're masculine all of the time, continuously, forever, without anything. You want to be stripped naked, tossed into the woods, okay, and then experience masculinity simply from having your bare hands, okay, water, and then access to grab some animals, kill them, and eat food, right? You don't need CBD, you don't need anything else. You want to live according to nature. Get rid of any form of stimulants. So that includes, you pretty much know what it includes. Do you believe that most people don't want to see you succeed? No. Actually, I think that people just don't want to be left behind. That's it. And they don't have motivation. They don't have desire to move ahead because, one, monogamy sucks. And number two, the government takes half of your money all the time. So what's the point of succeeding if the more I succeed, the more I have to pay in taxes? That's what they think. But then the rich people actually pay less in taxes than poor people. It's ridiculous, but that's how the system works. And the government's basically incentivizing crony capitalism, the wrong kind of capitalism that puts the middle class down to become poor and makes only those that understand the system and have the loopholes and have the lawyers to succeed. The expensive lawyers. It's ridiculous. So that's why we need government out of the system to make the competition leveled out. So, no, I think everyone wants you to succeed. They just don't want to be left behind. But if you bring them with you, they'd love to see you succeed. Love your energy, man. Thanks. I'm new to this, man. What are your tips? What do you think about semen retention movement? This is the semen retention movement. Because every single time I talk about semen retention, okay? I love semen retention. It's one of my favorite principles. But, like, when you've spoken about it for months upon months, like, that's basics. Like, get over yourself. Get over and past those 30 days. So first 30 days are the hardest part. Then after that, it just becomes easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. So I'm torn. Like, I want to help you guys to succeed on semen retention, but I want to help you guys to catch the vision of what's possible once you have cleared those first 30 days. So anyway, but I'm going back to semen retention because this is what you guys love. This is what people enjoy watching. And that's how my channel is going to grow the fastest. Every time I talk about semen retention, I'm like, tons of subscribers, tons of likes, tons of comments. Everyone's excited. So I'm going to share more about that. That is definitely my expertise. I am married. I have three, and I still am right now on day 61, which is insane, actually. It's, and I'm fired up outside my brain, as you can see. So I think that's all of the chats. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for being part of this channel and for being here today on this random time where I went live. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.